Hey everybody, my name is Michelle and this is my introduction video. I apologize in advance. I've got a really bad cold, so I look and feel like shit, but I really need to get this over with and uploaded because I kind of can't move on until I have my introduction video set, and I have a whole election series and elections on Monday, so I really got to get this done and I can't really wait another day. So yeah, I struggle a lot with my inner critic, and it's very difficult for me to kind of put all of my words into thoughts, and then it gets even worse when I'm editing my videos, and that's kind of what I've noticed. The first 4 videos, I've just hated every single one of the outcomes, and I just feel like I could have said things much better than I did. In the video, I found that one good way to challenge my inner critic and kind of work with it instead of against it is to write stuff down. So I have just written out my first video and I'm going to read it to you all. So here we go. We have been asked since before we can remember one of the most frustrating questions: what do you want to be when you grow up? What a destructive question to ask a kid, because what if they don't know? Well, that sucks, because you're going to need to know by the 10th grade so you can pick the proper high school courses so you can have the correct prerequisites for university or college. But between the start of high school and the end of post-secondary, there is so much time and opportunity for change, and what happens when you no longer want the goal you started out with. Now, if you're one of those people who wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer or a dentist or an engineer or anything with a focused degree, then maybe you can't relate to this. But I'm sure I'm not alone when I say that the Western society way of life needs some serious reconstruction. Everything about the society that I am a part of values the work grind over all else, and it doesn't matter what you sacrifice for the paycheck, whether it's your mental health, your physical health, your morals, or relationships, but you are ultimately sacrificing your time. And you have to ask yourself the question, is it worth it or not? At this point in my life, the answer to that question is no. And to explain why, I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory. Oh, it's really windy. Next box. 10th grade, Michelle had a school project to map out my university path to a job. I had to pick a career and present how I would get there. I've always been fascinated with extreme weather, so I just outlined how to get a career in meteorology. I ended up seeing the plan through all the way, with several speed bumps slowing me down enough to reevaluate if it was something I still wanted to do, and it wasn't. I'm still obsessed with the weather, don't get me wrong, but I didn't want to dedicate my life to studying and reporting it. I graduated in October 2017, and at this point in time, I no longer wanted to continue in the direction my life was currently heading in. Sorry. I think most of us settle for the lifestyle built by the generation before us, because even when it's hard, it's easy. We already know the formula, we already have the map, and so many of our peers are with us on this stepping stone path of life. School, then career, then house, then family. We all have a wealth of people who can relate to what we're going through, and that creates a comfort zone. Comfort is a dangerous thing because it's impossible to grow without change. Comfort eliminates the need for change, so how can you grow while you're comfortable? I honestly don't think that you can. You need to be pushed out of your comfort zone. I have been pushed out of my comfort zone more times than I can count over these last 3 years, and I would argue that I am unrecognizable now. 3 years ago, I was incredibly insecure, depressed, and anxious. Suicide was uncontrollably at the top of my list of options for when things got tough. I was failing school and in the most toxic relationship, and ultimately feeling scared and alone because I had no idea how I got here or who I was anymore. Today, I am in the best mindset I have ever been in. I know who I am and who I want to be as a person, and I am intentionally working towards being that person bit by bit. I have a much better handle on my mental health, and I would classify myself as a strong and positive person. On top of all that, I feel like I have significantly improved my relationship with my inner critic. But most importantly, I know where I want to go, and I know what I want to do to get there. Now, I want to stress how difficult this journey has been. I don't want anyone believing that mastering yourself is an easy job, because it's not. So hang in there if you are on a similar journey to mine, and just keep going. You will get through it. I hit rock bottom and crawled through mental shit to get to the mindset I'm in today. A few milestones in chronological order here for you within the last 3 years. I pulled the trigger and navigated my way through a brutal breakup with a guy I had known for nearly 2 decades and was obsessed with for almost just as long. This is from another journal entry that I just want to read because I really liked the way I had worded it. I will never forget something my ex asked me during one of our many unfriendly conversations. He asked me what I liked to do for fun, and I was scrambling for answers. I really had no idea what made me happy or what kept me moving forward. That's a dangerous realization because it's an indication that you have lost who you are, and I had. I had completely torn myself down and dimmed my own light to make someone else feel brighter, and I had called that love. To this day, I don't know if it was love or if it was just my own ego struggling to let go. Yikes. One of those unproven rules of thumb is that it takes half the time of the relationship to get over the breakup. So I still have a ways to go, but I'm growing through this, even with the occasional temptations to run back to that comfort zone that ultimately blow up in my face time and time again. All of my friends who know, they get it. Thank you, by the way, for staying through me through all of that. It was rough. But through this, I have learned my worth and set my standards. I am so aware of the red flags, and I am hoping, if not to a fault. But most importantly, I have learned how to be on my own and how to make decisions for myself without considering another person. This skill was not crafted solely by the breakup, however. 2017 was also the year I discovered my love for solo backpacking. So far, I have explored 9 countries, and I can't wait to see more. I am a huge advocate for solo traveling because it's a surefire way to explore who you are and discover who you want to be without anyone looking. I also just love travel friends. Like, some of my best friends are people that I've met traveling, and it's so nice to find those like-minded people because you don't necessarily find them every day in the city. I also met fully nomadic people while traveling, so I know it's a fully attainable lifestyle. Side note, one of my friends that I met traveling, she is fully nomadic now, so like I know that people can do this, and I know that I can do this. I haven't left the country since March 2018, and life was relatively uneventful until 2018, exactly 1 year ago. Tensions were high at home, and after a fight of displaced anger, I found myself looking for a new place to sleep. One of my absolute best friends opened her home to me, and like for that I'll forever be grateful. And then when spring rolled around, I thought I was just getting back on track, ready to move forward with my life, but I got hit with another obstacle. From May 2019 to present day, I have been dealing with a tumor in my jaw caused by a rare disease called Langerhans cell histiocytosis. It's such a frustrating life event because it has to take top priority before anything else. I am so ready to make a bunch of changes in my life, but everything is still so up in the air regarding the treatment plan, so I'm at a standstill. I have doctor's appointments at least once a week now, and I'm constantly waiting for results and missing puzzle pieces to be found. At this stage right now, I have to decide between radiation or surgery for the tumor removal, while also waiting to be tested for a tumor in my pituitary gland because of a raise for concern from a previous scan. These tests will determine if I need to do chemotherapy on top of the radiation or surgery, all while I'm balancing a 40-hour work week, trying to cover bills and save for rent for when I find a place to live because I'm still sleeping on a couch. On top of all that, I'm pretty educated on the current climate crisis, so I'm thinking, I am pretty educated on the current climate crisis, so I'm trying to change my lifestyle to contribute my part of the solution. Balancing all of this has shown me the value of time and how I have been wasting it. My 40-hour work week is exhausting, and I find myself, like most others I know, waiting for the next weekend, the next payday, the next vacation, wishing for time to pass faster instead of appreciating the right now of it all. My new goal is to cultivate a life where I can enjoy every right now without constraints. Basically, like, I just want to live my life on my own. I don't want to consult a boss for how I want to spend my time, but I also do know that I need an income. I think that YouTube is a perfect platform for all of this. I think it's most important that we protect the only 2 homes that we have, our bodies and this planet. And I will be documenting the trials and errors of my own journey for myself and anyone else interested in joining along. So that was that. I think that this is finally the take that you will all see. I also just wanted to thank every person that has gotten me to this point today. I have been learning life lessons that have gotten me here way before the 3 years that I commented on this. I have lost a lot of friends that I have, like, some of them have been my fault, and yeah, I'm just learning how to kind of let go and just find happiness, because that at the end of the day is the most important thing. Yeah, we'll see you soon.